Welcome to H2K Infosys. H2K Infosys is a e-verify business based in Atlanta, Georgia, United States. We provide 100% job-oriented, instructor-led, face-to-face, true live online software training programs. It also includes access to Cloud Test Lab with software tools. We provide live project for you to work on. We also provide assistance with mock interviews, resume preparation and review, and job placement assistance. H2K Infosys is trusted by so many students across the world. H2K Infosys provides world-class services in IT training with real-time project work for corporates and individuals, special IT training for MS students in the United States, software design, development, QA manual and automation, performance testing and maintenance, IT staff augmentation, job placement assistance, and tech support.
Good. Folks, everyone able to hear me and able to see my screen? Hello? Folks, everyone able to hear me? Folks, could someone say yes or say yes on chat window?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, thanks. Folks, do you have any questions before we start the class? Have any questions before we start the class?
Hi Neha. I sent the question on the email. So
yeah, I just saw your email. So what is the error that you're getting?
So I was getting SQL exception. Oh, just a second. I was getting some SQL exception and exact text I'm trying to figure out. Actually, I searched on Google and then I thought of let me ask you.
Okay, you're trying to connect to an Oracle database, right?
Yeah.
So are you doing the proper host name, everything as per the, the URL as what is right here? Maybe after the class, I'll just look at the URL and I'll respond to that.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually the URL should be of this format, right? Like try to give the your IP address in the host name, okay? Your IP address and the port is like if you don't, the port where you exactly install the Oracle, give the port number and in the host name give your IP address and this is the database name.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try that. So I can try that tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'll let you know the output.
So, when we're getting information about some Oracle database, we're getting like seed something. Is it the database name or database we need to mention? What exactly is that?
No, what did you exactly try? No, actually when we install the database, right? So when I install the MySQL, there are certain databases. Whatever the databases that you see here, I haven't created these databases. They were there by default.
No, I'm talking about the naming conventions what we're using for Oracle. So when I get information about database, they're giving URL, port number, and a seed. Seed is a database name or something like that, or seed is a naming convention or similar to database name or something like that.
No. Actually, okay. Usually when we say seed, it is the data, when we install it, that's what I'm saying, right? We get this something in the default. That's what we call it as a seed data. I mean, seed data is like it's some kind of data that is provided with the system for some kind of a training, how the tables look like and all that. That's what we call it as a seed data.
Okay. What was that subject we're looking into? Seed, right? Seed. They mentioned seed is equal to some name.
I don't. So means was it the question that we were looking? Means I know the question numbers.
No. You're showing me the code. It mentioned that seed, something like that in information. We're talking about database name or something like that.
Seed. I don't recall it. See, the problem that I was facing was I was using the URL format as given on the Oracle website. That okay, this is the format that we have to use. But eventually, it did not work out that way, and I had to use the other format which we were like, which we are using in our project to connect to the database. So, means I don't recall that thing.
Folks, actually, there are different drivers, right? So depending on the drivers file which you are using. You see, I was using 3.8 jar. You see some jar file for this, right? I was using some different version actually. So in that, I'm not able to execute the callable statement because in that procedure it is not supporting it. Then I changed the version and I am able to execute it. You know, some specific things, they are dependent on the specific driver exactly we are using. So maybe there will be something different to the driver that you are using. Maybe, you know, the URL basically. In the typer, we can use a J2EE driver also. You see it here, right? No, I'm just saying for your information. So in that scenario, my URL is different. So it will be like this. J2EE, JDBC, J2EE and all that. So for your driver class, you will have some kind of a documentation on, you know, where you download this particular jar file, you will have some information on how the URL should be and all that.
So I was using OJDBC 14.jar.
Yeah, when you download, from a website or some site, right? So there will be some information that is provided along with it. So different jar files work differently.
Okay.
And some jar files, even when we say create a statement, we say resulted as forward only, but still it doesn't honor it. Some drivers. The previous driver is not honoring it. I wasn't able to execute callable statement with that. You know, so it's driver specific also. So just try to get the information on the exact driver which we are downloading.
Okay. So actually, you know, since you asked if we have any questions, so I was going through the zip file that you sent today morning, Java question, which had certification dump PDF. I had I was not clear on question number 14 and question number 18 in that.
If you asked a doubt, I can tell you, we cannot discuss like all the questions in the class because it's going to eat up time, right? So what is the exact specific thing if you're not able to understand? Because if you start looking at the questions, right, it eats up the class time. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So you can. I'm not saying I'm not going to answer. I'm just requesting you to be more specific so that I can clarify you fast.
Okay. So yeah. So I'll drop an email to you with my questions.
Yes. Yeah. Or next time you can be more specific on a specific line. What exactly is happening, so that we can discuss it fast.
Sure. So yeah, actually, I was like confused, and I thought, okay, I'll ask you. But yeah, I was planning to ask an email. So yeah, I'll probably go through all of them, and then I'll put my doubts in an email so that.
You can send it 1, 2 because like it's difficult for me to answer 10 questions at a time or 20 questions at a time, and it'll be easy like 1 or 2 at a time, right? So you can just email me. That's not an issue.
Okay, sure.
folks, yesterday, what were we discussing yesterday? Yesterday we did create, we were discussing the J2EE architecture, different kinds of drivers, and we have different drivers specific to different databases. And it's like you have different jar files that we download and put in the project. So the URLs or how they are dependent on the specific drivers or drivers. So when you are downloading a specific jar file, see the documentation on how we could provide the URL, so that it is just when you have the URL, we just replace it with the host name, port, the database name. But we should exactly know what is the URL pattern for that specific driver. So, I know this is it. So the host name I replaced localhost colon the port number, and then I specified the database name. So for Oracle, like say localhost is not working, put the IP name. If you go to command prompt and say IP config, you will get your IP address. So put your IP address, colon the port number, and then specify the database name. And then yesterday we have seen code. We have how to get the connection objects, and we have seen like executing some SQL using statements, and we have seen different methods that a statement supports. The execute, update, and execute query. And the next thing that we have is the prepared statement. So folks, any one of you, what is the difference between a statement and prepared statement? What is the difference between a statement and a prepared statement?
A prepared statement is a pre-compiled statement, and where statement is not. And you can give runtime variable in prepared statement.
Mm-hmm.
And a statement does not accept runtime variable.
Okay, statement is basically used to execute static SQL statements, wherein using the prepared statement we can execute dynamic queries, as in we can set the parameters in the runtime also. So prepared statement is a pre-compiled statement wherein we create the prepared statement once, and with different values we can execute the prepared statement multiple times. So even like the statement, prepared statement, and the callable statement, all the objects are created from the connection object only. So after we getting the connection, we say con.prepared statement, we are passing the SQL. If you observe the SQL, we are replacing the values with question marks, and we are setting these values later on. So when I say the index 1, the first value is going to be this, and the second value is going to be 201. When I say prepared statement dot execute update, this update happens, and then I'm setting different values to the same prepared statement, and I'm executing the prepared statement. So if you see here, I have the same prepared statement which I'm executing multiple times, or here I'm executing it twice. So this prepared statement gets compiled against the database only once. Irrespective of the number of times we execute, it gets executed only once. But we cannot do that with a statement. So we have to put two different sequels or two different statements when you want to iterate the same thing with a statement. That's the difference between a statement and prepared statement. Statement is used to execute static SQL. So
we can't execute the same static sequence twice, like pmst dot execute if con dot statement had the select query, right?
I'm sorry, could you please repeat your question?
No, I was saying that, let's say in case of prepare statement, we had a statement here, con dot create statement, select star from some table. Now,
okay.
Because we have to again create a prepare PSMT object, and then we have to execute the statement.
If you want to do one more select, if you want to do a select here, we cannot do it with this prepared statement. Is it what you are asking?
No. Yeah, let's say in case of prepare, instead of prepare statement, I use the statement, just the statement that we learned in the last class. and the query was select star from some table. Now I want to execute that query. So the query means the way to execute will be pmst.execute. Now I can do it twice also, right?
One second. Here you have a statement, right? So you are saying, could I execute one more SQL using the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Right. So let's say you want to do a select. Right. So you are saying, can I execute? I could execute this with the same statement. Is what your question is?
Yeah.
So, folks, does this line work? Could I use the execute method to do some selects? Could I do that? Could I do that? Folks, it's giving me error. There is some, unique integration, unique constraint that is on the database for the specific column. So I'm not able to insert it. So, am I like, I have this SQL here, this gets compiled against the database. And I have one more SQL here, when I execute it, even this gets compiled against the database. Replace statement is like useful when we have same kind of a query that we are executing with different values. If I want to do an insert with different values, right? That is where we have a single SQL that is compiled against the database and we are executing it multiple times. But even I do the same thing. See, if it is two different queries that you are doing, you will be doing the same thing with prepared statement also. I cannot, with the same prepared statement, right? I cannot say I want to do select also, right? I mean, I can do it, but when I do it, it's a different query and it again needs to be compiled against the database. Such as, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I got it. Okay.
So, see, if I want to achieve it with a statement, I have to write one query with putting values and I have to put one more query putting the values, right?
Yeah.
And so, like we have two queries that gets compiled against the database, right? Like both the times it gets compiled against the database. So we use prepare statement. I want to do like multiple updates. You know, same kind of queries. I want to do multiple inserts, then we'll go with a prepared statement.
Okay. So, okay. Yeah, so, actually prepare statement takes in arguments like, which has VC1 and 2 here. So,
you can set different values and execute the same thing and execute the same query again with different values.
Okay, fine. And it's clear what I asked. Yeah.
Okay. Neil, are you able to hear me now?
Yes, Neha. Yes, sir.
Okay. So, folks, that's the difference between a statement and a prepared statement. Statement is like used to execute like a static sequence. There's a query. It's not like at a later point you want to send a different value and do it. You cannot do that with a statement, which can be done with a prepared statement. So when we have like same kind of a query that we want to execute multiple times with different values, we use a prepared statement.
Neha, Venkat here.
Yes.
So this is the only way to pass the values to query, or we can pass to any other?
What do you mean by any other?
Like here we are passing PM st.setString, we are passing the value, right?
Yes, we have different methods on a prepared statement to set the values to it.
So this is the only way we can pass, or do we have any other ways of passing the values to dynamically?
Yeah, in the call of indexes, or we can pass it as part of this overloaded method also. Hello?
Yes, yes.
We have different overloaded methods that you want to do and execute update. But if you want to set it, we have different set methods to set like whatever the replaced value has to be.
Okay.
I mean, you mean to say, do we have any other kind of part of the API? Do you have any methods that you want to pass these values?
Yes, yes, Neha. I'm just trying to understand, like, is there any way? That's all I'm trying to understand.
Okay, to set this question mark, whatever we are
Yes.
replacing, we're just trying to understand, like, do we have any other ways?
Yes.
I think we set the values like this. I haven't used any other way. I don't say bluntly there's no other way for it, but I have used only this way. Here we just specify the column name. To my knowledge, this is the way.
Yeah, I'm fine. Like, I just want to know that. Nothing else.
I mean, I understand because see, I just don't want to confidently give you a wrong answer, maybe a wrong answer saying there is no other way. Right? That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
See, when I am not like clearly sure, because there might be so many ways, some different way to do it, which I might not be aware of, right? So I was just trying to see it, and there doesn't seem to be an execute update which takes the column value.
Okay. And here, anyway, in the query we have update, right? Again, this statement like pmsd.execute update, that is explicitly we should mention. I mean,
no,
that maybe
see,
the
actually,
standard.
with this update, it's not that we want to do an update, just an update, right? So the method name is this, but you can use this for insert, update, or delete. Some JDBC API is a little confusing, but you see the description over here, right?
So okay, maybe we have to understand like this update with the values whatever they are passing.
Yeah, it's just a name that they have kept it actually. Even when you see the execute query, I mean, from the naming, they doesn't really sound logical to me at least.
Okay.
But maybe, not maybe, they haven't did any modifications like with the versions of Java to JDBC actually. I mean, if you see the collections, right, we have only like very few in 1.2, and then we go to 1.4, and then we have like new collections that have come with versions, right? And not only that, not only collections and many different features, but for JDBC, they didn't do much work for JDBC with versions actually. I don't know why.
Oh.
Maybe the evolution of ORM frameworks has occupied most of the market, and that could be the reason they might not have invested more into this part. But these methods, some of these methods doesn't sound the exact meaning of it. The first time, even when I was learning, I was thought that it is supposed to be an update, and I was there like looking like the execute, delete, and all that.
Okay.
No, I'm just telling what I felt in the very initial stage.
Yeah, I mean, even we are feeling the same thing. That's why I asked you a question.
Yeah. So I was just doing a control space to see there's something with delete and all that. No, we just have this execute update to perform delete, insert, all that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's how we can understand. Execute means it will execute the query. Update, it will update the value.
Yes. So we have to. I mean, we just have to do control space and see like what the method exactly does. Because folks, if you ask me, not even me, even like people who have like 30 years of experience, no one knows all the methods in this, all the API. I mean, all the methods or what it does. So we just do, usually when I want to do an update, I already know that it's an execute update and I just do it. If I want to do some other functionality, I just do control space and see, what are the methods that are available, and that's how I actually do. So everyone needs to learn top of that. If you see, if you don't see any different method, for example, if you do control space on this method, it just tells you like, we can use this method for insert and delete also, right? Venkat, are you clear on we can execute like deletes also with the same with the same execute update? Here we can have an insert query, let's say, replacing the same things with question mark, and then we can set those values here, and we can say execute update. Are you clear, Venkat?
Yes, I am clear.
Okay. So we have, when we retrieve the data from the database, we get that into the result set object. So what does the result set object has? It internally, like the result set object, it maintains a cursor that points to the current row in the result set. For example, when I fetch data from the database, I can have like, multiple rows that get returned, right? So the result set maintains a cursor, and it's moved based on based on the properties of the result set, and when we call different methods on the result set, the cursor gets moved. So by default, it's like, by default, it's at the starting of, like, for example, if I get 4 rows, by default, it's the starting. So I have to do next, then I come to the first row, and next it goes to the next row. So that's how we proceed. And so we have overloaded methods. We have seen that the create statement, right? We were just creating the statement without passing any parameters, right? We were calling this without passing any parameters. This has an overloaded method which takes the result set type and the result set concurrently. So these are already defined in the result set. Different types of result set and the concurrencies. So the different type of result set is, we have the forward only, wherein the cursor can only move in the forward direction of the result set, and we have the scroll insensitive. When it says scroll, it can do both forward and backward, and the result set is not sensitive to the changes that are made in the database. For example, I fetch the result set, I have loaded it, I'm like probably using it sometime later, or putting in a drop down or doing something. When something happens in database, say, through either application or directly to the database, it is not sensitive because the changes are not reflected when we say the result set is insensitive. But when we make it as the type scroll sensitive, the changes that we made in the database or some other application, right? The changes get reflected here. The result set, it is sensitive to the changes that are made to the database after we fetch the result set. So these are different types of result set that we have, and we can pass that as an argument when we are creating the statement here. When we're creating the statement, we have an overloaded method which takes a result set type and concurrency. The concurrency levels that we have is, you want to have a read-only, or you want to update the data also from the result set. So when we say read-only, it creates a read-only result set, and the default is read-only. And when we say concurrent updatable, the data in the result set, we can update it. So we're going to see those methods on how we could update it and all that. But these are different types of result set and the concurrency of result set. When we are creating the statement, we can provide these arguments so that, they're bound to work that way. Like if you want to have a sensitive data, or you want to make it the result set as insensitive to the changes that are made in the database.
So many of our students have given testimonials on how our training programs are. You will find them on kudzu.com and on our website h2kinfosys.com. On our website H2KInfosys.com, you will also find more detailed information on who we are, the courses that we offer, what each course covers. Also, if you're interested in a demo program, please register on our homepage on the left-hand side. Just give us more information about yourself and we will send you a link for a demo class. The demo class is absolutely free. Experience our commitment by just attending an orientation workshop at no cost. Our team of faculty and advisors are here to guide you with the right information. If you still have more questions, please feel free to call us. Call us at 770-777-1269. This is a United States number. If you're calling from the UK, call us at 020-337-17615. You can also email us at training@h2kinfosys.com or h2kinfosys@gmail.com. Thank you for watching our videos. We wish you a great career in information technology.